2B is the main character for Nier Automata, and if you've been following video game news at all throughout 2016 and 2017, you've probably seen her around. Her design was met with controversy, criticism, and praise amongst its growing popularity, and it doesn't take long to understand why when you look at how sexualized and stylized it is. With the release of costume DLC for Nier Automata, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to explore the original uniform and design of 2B and YoRHa. YoRHa is a group of androids of whom 2B belongs to with the purpose of fighting the machines. For the most part, they function like a military with strict regulation and a chain of command. The design of 2B and the other YoRHa androids are heavily intertwined with the themes and other aspects of Nier Automata's world, but let's begin by honing in on 2B. Her design was created by Yoshida Akihiko. Her appearance is one that undoubtedly grabs attention with its monochromatic color scheme and stylistic flourishes, such as the feathered sleeves and patterns visible throughout the dress. It's actually fairly understated though when you consider the designs of protagonists in other RPGs, and this becomes even more apparent when you expand that to other action games. The most striking and eye-catching parts of 2B's outfit though are undoubtedly the blindfold and the extremely high slit of her dress. 2B's dress and overall appearance is designed to be sexually and visually appealing, there's not much getting around that. In fact, lots of attention was paid to certain aspects of her appearance such as her thighs, bust size, and how her outfit would interact with these body parts. Because of the high slit in her dress, 2B's thighs and underwear often make a seductively common appearance throughout the game, but it also reflects the nature of her design. The slit allows for the freedom of movement required in her animations without coming off awkward or hindered. Director Yoko Taro explains that game designer Takahisa Tora is very particular about a character's breasts and panty shots, joking that Toro said he would abandon the game unless they made 2B less busty. This is evident in that many of Yoshida's early sketches that were on the busty side were rejected, but it's because of these considerations that make 2B such a well-designed character. She's attractive and beautiful, but with a sense of elegance and power, not gaudiness and tastelessness. Yoshida acknowledged that while the Nier and Drakengard series explores taboo topics, there are a lot of female fans and that he feels a little afraid of their reactions to his designs. And it's this consideration and tasteful approach to a character's appearance that could have been fairly poorly received otherwise that resulted in such a popular character. It's also worth noting the allusions to Victorian fashion sensibilities in 2B's outfit, known for their flowery flourishes and embroidered detailings. The most obvious comparison is the Victorian maid, although 2B's outfit is much more heavily stylized, seemingly blending the Victorian maid uniform with a punk aesthetic, while the black crow feathers convey a sense of death. This combination of a traditionally submissive role with a more louder and individualistic style reflects 2B's position in some ways. 2B is a powerful combat android, but she's at the will of her superiors. The blindfold is inherently attention-grabbing because as people, our eyes naturally tend towards other people's eyes and by extension, their face. This is why the blindfold is often the first thing you notice on 2B. It's an interesting design choice that separates her from other video game protagonists for several reasons. Eyes carry a heft of emotion and expression, and we look to them to understand a person's feelings. In terms of character design, eyes are thus used to convey certain characteristics as they let audiences instantly grab an idea of the personality a character might have, and a game can expand upon this by subverting such expectations. If eyes are then such an expressive and convenient way to convey emotion, why choose to blindfold 2B? Well, it's pretty simple to obscure her emotions. Without her eyes to rely on, we look to 2B's words and actions to get a grasp of who she is, both of which are executed perfectly in my opinion. In-game, the blindfold functions as a visor, which is why the YoRHa ground troops are all seen wearing them, but a blindfold works in two ways though. While we can't see 2B's eyes, which represents an obscuration of her true emotion, 2B is the one who is actually blindfolded. Obvious implications are that soldiers such as 2B are simply meant to follow orders, whether they're told the reasoning or not. This is also reflected in a lot of the attitude and dialogue of characters throughout the game.
Glory to mankind.
Make sure to do whatever is necessary to avoid combat.
And how will I provide support to the squad if I don't fight?
Scanner units such as yourself are not designed for battle.
There's no point trying to work out unsolvable problems.
We're soldiers. We take pride in our service.
They're discouraged from questioning and blinded to the true intentions of their superiors, but maybe that's how it's intended. Other YoRHa androids carry a similar aesthetic to 2B. 2B is a YoRHa android, so obviously she shares the same uniform style as the other androids, while 2B's 3D model was the first one created and would become the benchmark for Nier Automata. I had to think about the basis for body proportions and modeling, designing the shader, and even the cost associated with mass production, explains Hito Matsudaira, the 3D modeler for 2B. The fact that the ground units wear the blindfold is an interesting design choice. It's not something special to 2B or 9S because they're the main characters, but rather something that's part of the YoRHa uniform. And it's this widespread ubiquity of the blindfold that conveys the idea that a majority of their populace don't see the whole picture. That a majority of our populace don't see the whole picture. The blindfolds as visors also creates an interesting dynamic, as androids with the blindfold can still see through their eyes, they just can't see into each other's eyes. The YoRHa operators are also very interesting. The operators serve as a counterpart to the ground units, relaying information and orders from their base of operations, the bunker. While their design lacks a blindfold, they share the same monochromatic color palette with simpler uniforms and a smaller silhouette. But with the lack of a blindfold comes a mouth veil. In-game, the veil acts as a mouthpiece or microphone for relaying information, but also prevents frowns and smiles from being seen, conveying the idea that they're all about business. When comparing the blindfolds and mouth veils, it's not hard to see the symbolism. The ground units are encouraged to see no evil, their eyes covered from the truth, while the operators are encouraged to speak no evil. The intentions of their orders are left ambiguous. The commander then sees the truth, her lack of a blindfold or veil implying ultimate clarity. 2B's design is one of alluring subtlety and implied strength. Her attractive appearance and slim yet fit frame blend together the intrigue and power of a stylish battle android. Her blindfold and Victorian-inspired uniform creates intrigue that is backed up by lore, symbolism, and consideration, while her more popular aspects are also functionally justified. YoRHa uniforms blend together the implications present in 2B's design, but expands upon it in unnervingly fascist yet interesting ways. It's not hard to see why 2B became such a popular character despite coming from a niche series. Nier Automata's character and costume design oozes a powerful yet alluring aesthetic and is undeniably style and substance. If you have anything to add, maybe about 9S or A2's design, or even the machines, feel free to add to the discussion in the comments. Subscribe if you're interested in more video game and anime analysis, or check me out on Twitter. Thanks for watching and see you guys in the next one.